All right, hey, what's up everybody? Landan with LMR.com. In this video, we're checking out the JBA Shorty headers designed for a 5.8 liter equipped 1992 to 1996 Bronco or the 1993 to 1995 Lightnings. We're gonna talk about them a little bit, and then we're gonna show you how to install a set using this 1996 Bronco. Now, the reason why I say those specific year ranges and trim levels of vehicle, because that's what we cater to here at LMR.com. But the JBA Shorty headers, it's a great set of headers. You're gonna get stainless steel construction. You're gonna have 1 5/8 inch primaries or tubing size. You're gonna have a 3/8 inch thick flange with a sealing bead, is what JBA calls it. And what this does is it virtually eliminates any leaks when installed correctly. And when I say installed correctly, that's with the installer cleaning the cylinder head of old gasket material as well as carbon buildup, and then torquing the hardware from the inside out. They'll have what JBA calls a fire cone collector, kind of some cool terminology there for the style of collector that they use for this particular header. It's also going to have a carb EO number, which means it's 50 state legal. It's gonna bolt right up to a set of small block Ford cylinder heads for a 5.8 liter Windsor, and then you'll also be able to utilize either your factory mid-pipe as well as an aftermarket mid-pipe that is designed to fit stock manifolds or an aftermarket set of Shorty headers. The 50 state legality is only applicable to vehicles running a factory mid-pipe. The setup we have on this Bronco is not 50 state legal due to the aftermarket mid-pipe. These JBA headers will also utilize the factory EGR connection. It's going to have the correct thread pitch for the EGR fitting that you're going to transfer from your stock manifolds to the passenger side JBA header. Kind of the cool scientific data for this one is that the stock manifolds, being that they are cast iron, they tip the scale at about 29 pounds. That's combined. And then the JBA Shorty headers combined tip the scale at roughly 14 pounds. So your static weight savings, some quick, simple, easy math, will be 15 pounds. JBA is going to include new gaskets as well as installation hardware. All right, so moving into some of the fitment notes and kind of just some kind of FYIs, if you will. The manifold bolts probably won't come out of the cylinder heads as easy as what we show in the video. The cylinder heads for this particular Bronco, as well as the manifolds, have been off before, so ours came out like an absolute dream. I would still recommend, regardless, soaking the manifold hardware as well as the 4 nuts that secure the mid-pipe to the manifold with a penetrating catalyst such as a PB Blaster, and allow that to dwell for several minutes before you try and remove the hardware. So due to the size of the header tubing, you will have to modify the dipstick tube bracket. That's situated on the driver's side. And then for at least Broncos, I know Lightnings aren't this way, you will have to modify the plenum support bracket as well. Since we're working on a 1996 Bronco, it doesn't have any of the smog stuff, so no secondary air injection system nonsense, but I know some of you will. Unfortunately, we won't be able to show that in this video because this Bronco doesn't have that. JBA does provide the bracket and spacers to properly relocate that secondary air injection tube that's located at the back of the header on the passenger side. And I think the last thing when it comes to fitment notes is the EGR tube nut and just the EGR tube access in general. I went ahead and took 10-15 minutes and removed the passenger side inner fender splash shield. This allowed a ton more working room. This also allowed me to have enough leverage on that tube nut to get it loose, get it off of the factory manifold, and then I had enough leverage to use a pry bar to coax the EGR tube back into position for the JBA header and then reinstall the tube nut. And then a few miscellaneous notes. I'm 6'2". This Bronco here has the LMR lift kit. It just lifts it up 1 inch, but that's still enough to put strain on my back. I did have access to a topside creeper, so that's what I used. For those of you that have access to that, great. I feel like a lot of you won't. So get yourself in position and use things that are gonna help you ergonomically, okay? The manifolds are heavy. Be careful when you loosen them and you try to grab them. All this whole setup could put strain on your back. But as far as the exhaust setup goes, we installed the JBA Shorty headers, Bassani catted mid-pipe, and then a Bassani catback exhaust. If you want to know a little bit more about the Bassani parts, check out the link down in the video description. We talk about those in a little bit more detail, as well as show you how to put them on this Bronco. And then if you want to know what this exhaust setup sounds like, we have a dedicated sound clip video that will link down in the video description as well. So that's a rundown on the JBA headers. We'll jump over here and we'll get rolling with the install. All right, so since we'll be working near the starter, go ahead and disconnect the negative battery cable. On the driver's side, disconnect and label the plug wires. This Bronco has a set of Ford racing plug wires that already are labeled with the cylinder number. The driver's side cylinders are 5 being the front, followed by 6, 7, and then 8. The passenger side has a bit more congestion, so I just disconnected the vacuum line stuff that was in my way and then carefully position it out of the way. Disconnect the plug wires and label these 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go ahead and situate these out of your way as well. Next, you'll need to remove the hardware securing the plenum support bracket and remove it from the vehicle. Spray a penetrating catalyst on all the manifold hardware and the mid-pipe to manifold nuts. Let this dwell for several minutes. Remove the mid-pipe nuts with an 11/16 deep socket. In order to get leverage on the EGR tube nut, I chose to remove the inner fender splash shield on the passenger side. Locate the large washer bolts first and remove those. These have an 8mm wrenching size. Remove the 3 nuts securing the vacuum canister and set this aside. From within the engine bay, dislodge the harness clips attached to the top of the splash shield. Remove the screw holding the charcoal canister to the bracket, and then remove the screw securing the bracket to the splash shield. If equipped, remove the hardware that secures the step to the vehicle and position it out of your way. Remove the smaller 5.5mm screws that run the outer perimeter of the splash shield. The splash shield can now be removed from the vehicle. Use an adjustable wrench and loosen the EGR tube nut. Back this all the way off of the fitting in the manifold. Now you can remove the manifolds. Due to the weight of the manifolds, I would remove the rearward hardware first and work towards the front. The manifold hardware has a 9/16 wrenching size. Now that both factory manifolds are out of the way, it's time to install the JBA headers. The first order of business was to clean the old gasket material and carbon buildup from the cylinder heads. For some additional working room, I did remove the dipstick from the engine block, which you have to remove this anyway to modify the bracket. This one had been removed before, so it came out with just a quick tug. You may have to drive the dipstick out from underneath of the vehicle using an appropriate tool. Stuff some towels into the exhaust ports to keep out dirt, dust, and debris. Since this Bronco still has iron heads, I cleaned up the mating surface with a steel wire wheel. If you have aluminum heads, I would recommend using a brass wire wheel. Brass is obviously a softer material than steel. Carefully clean around the ports and turn the wire wheel just fast enough to clean. You don't have to crank this wide open. If needed, you can also use a wire brush for intricate areas, or if you simply don't have access to a die grinder and wire wheel. After both sides are clean, flush the areas really well with compressed air. Be sure and flush the bolt holes for the headers as well. Remove the towels and wipe off any debris from the spark plugs. Use the wire brush and a heavy-duty scuff pad to clean the mating surface on the EGR tube. Go ahead and install the lock washers over the header bolts and apply just a little bit of anti-seize to the threads. I'm installing the driver's side header first. Place the gasket over the header and then set it on the frame so you can allow yourself to get into position. Install a bolt through one of the center bolt holes and get it started by hand. Do this for all 8 bolts and then run each of them down with a 3/8 socket. I really like the swiveling type sockets. These come in clutch when dealing with tight areas. Mock up the dipstick tube and see where you need to make the modification. Remove the tube and then jig it up in a vise. Take a grinder and remove the necessary material and test fit again. If everything checks out good, apply some black E-coat to the exposed metal. Just be sure and prep this area so the paint sticks. Remove the bolt from the header where the dipstick tube will get positioned, and then apply a non-curing gasket maker where the tube will be installed into the engine block. Clean the area on the engine block where the tube is installed, and then reinsert the dipstick tube into the block. Reinstall the header bolt, and then snug all these down. You'll want to torque these grade 5 bolts working from inside out to 19 to 27 foot-pounds. I split it down the middle since I used anti-seize. Not all the bolts can be torqued, so just do your best to get them tight. Wipe down the dipstick and reinstall it into the tube. Clean up the spark plug boots and apply a pea-sized drop of dielectric grease inside of each boot. Reconnect the spark plug wires in the correct firing order and make sure they're free and clear of the headers. All right, so moving to the passenger side now. This is definitely the most time consuming due to the working room, EGR tube, and of course that secondary air injection stuff if your vehicle has it. Speaking of that secondary air injection, I would mock up the header first so you know how much clearance you have and where to position the provided bracket. Put the factory manifold in a vise and apply heat to the EGR adapter fitting. After a few minutes, use a 1 1/4 inch socket on an impact to remove this fitting. Let it cool off and then clean up the fitting using a wire wheel. Apply some anti-seize to the threads and install the fitting into the JBA header. Put the header back into the vise and then fully tighten the fitting. Apply some anti-seize to the other side of the fitting and position the header into the vehicle. Let it rest on the frame so you can get the gasket in place and get yourself into position. Like we did on the driver's side, get one of the centermost bolts started by hand. Start another bolt in one of the forward locations just to hold the header in place. The rearwardmost bolt is pretty dang difficult to get to. I took an extra 5 minutes and removed the dipstick and dipstick tube from the E4OD transmission. This just bolts to the bell housing and then pulls out of the extension tube that's attached to the transmission case. I would avoid removing the extension tube from the transmission as you run the risk of it puking fluid all over the place. Now do your best to get the rear bolt started and then turn it a few times with an open-end wrench. Go ahead and install the rest of the bolts and snug them all down. Torque the hardware working from the center out. Place a mark on the plenum support bracket where it makes contact with the header tube. Jig this up into a vise and grind down the bracket until enough material is removed for proper clearance. Due to the attaching locations, you'll need to manipulate the angle and the bends on the plenum support. A couple bends in the vise and a few solid smacks with a mini sledge did the trick. Clean up the support and then paint it. I went with the LMR Gray E-Coat. It's available on the site. Spruce up the plenum support retaining nut and then reinstall the plenum support. You'll need to remove the header bolt and re-torque. Don't forget to reattach the ground strap. The easiest way to get the EGR tube aligned with the fitting in the header is to take a pry bar and find something to use for leverage. The stock heads have a small boss, which is what I use to coax the tube into position. While holding the tube into position, thread on the nut, and then you can fully tighten. Clean up the transmission dipstick tube and lubricate the O-ring. Reinstall the dipstick back into the extension and fully tighten the bolt. Reinstall the dipstick back into the tube. Reinstall the inner fender splash shield and its corresponding hardware. Reinstall the side step if equipped. Reattach the charcoal canister bracket to the splash shield and re-engage the harness clips. Reinstall the charcoal canister back onto the bracket. Clean up the plug wire boots, apply some dielectric grease, and then reinstall them onto the correct spark plugs. Reconnect the vacuum lines and any other component that was resituated during the install. Go ahead and install the header to mid-pipe bolts and position the mid-pipe onto the ball flange. The hardware orientation will be a flat washer, a lock washer, followed by a nut. Do this for all 4 bolts. Run this hardware down and fully tighten if no additional exhaust adjustments are needed. Reconnect the negative battery cable. Start the vehicle and check for exhaust leaks. After that, you're good to go. All right, everybody, so that's a wrap. Definitely hope you appreciated this one. Seems like a lot of work. It kind of was, but knowing kind of how to attack some of this should ease the installation process just a little bit for all of you watching. Again, good set of headers for anyone looking to replace a set of factory manifolds, whether they're in good condition or they're not, or you're replacing kind of an older janky set of aftermarket Shorty or long tube headers. All right, we're gonna sign off. As always, if you find value in what we're doing, please consider liking the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Until we see you in the next one, for all things OBS Bronco and 93 to 95 Lightning, keep it right here at the Real Enthusiast, LMR.com.